To another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today I'm talking with Jeff Tadlock, who's also known as Stairway to Reason. If you are unfamiliar with his channel on YouTube, it's very good, and I have a link to it down below. He discusses all sorts of angles about Christianity and religious belief and stuff like that. Oh, and he's got a visitor. Look at that little floof right there. Well, Jeff, basically what I do here is I talk to people about how they left their faith behind, whatever path or journey they took to becoming an atheist activist like you are today. And so take us on that journey with you there and like try and think back, I guess, as far as you can about how things sort of started doubting and whatnot, and take us on that trip.
Yeah, so I'm 45, and I was a devout Christian for probably up until about 36, 37, 30, maybe even 38. I mean, it seems like most of my life, very devout. I was that Bible thumping Christian that always had a hat with a cross on it or a t-shirt with some sort of Jesus message.
Oh yeah, okay.
I was very devout,
out.
but I've also been an artist all of my life. I tried to do the normal family life, but it didn't work out for me. I was in music production in my early 20s. Is that too much noise out there? Should I shut my window? Can you hear all that racket?
Well, I can hear a little bit, but it's not really like it's distracting or anything.
It's
kind of like
great.
Background. So
I left my window open, and I've got new siding going on the house right now. I didn't think they'd be working this late, but I think they're loading their truck or something.
Oh, maybe.
But anyways, so I'm renting. I'm not a house that I own. Landlord's doing it. But anyways, so yeah, I struggled real hard in my life. And because of the struggle all my life, I really needed God. I mean, I was that guy who was on my knees praying, needing, wanting, just needed God so much, and it started at an early age. Most of my followers know. I made a video about it that my dad's dead. My mom left when I was 5. She's still alive.
Wow.
I don't know her. And that's a weird thing to have a mother that doesn't love you. It's a confusing thing. Bizarre. To this day, I can't explain it, but it's very bizarre. And it's just, I was that guy that needed God, man, really bad. And I was devout. And at some point, I coined the phrase. I don't know if anybody else has said it, but there they are. I wonder if they're working out there still. Anyways, I may have to get up and shut my window, but I finally came up with this phrase, God is an absentee parent. And I'm gonna have to go shut that window. I think there's wind. Let me go shut a window. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Don't mind. I'm really sorry.
That's all right, man. No big deal. Guess they're doing some work on his house there. They're doing some siding and stuff, and he figured they'd be done by now, but apparently they're not. So he's just dealing with the sound reduction so we can carry on.
Okay. Maybe you can do an edited version of this. I'm really sorry. I couldn't have predicted that those guys would be working here.
No big deal, man.
They usually leave by this time. So anyways,
it's okay.
Anyways, I really needed God. God was nowhere to be found year after year after year. I remember times lying in my bed as a kid crying out to God,
Mm-hmm.
I would sleep with the Bible under my head like a pillow when I was a child.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And I really needed God. And in all my years, up to 30 years, I couldn't hold a family together. I couldn't make money. I'm an artist, I'm not out there doing siding, or I don't know anything other than art, right. Music, writing, that kind of stuff. And man, I had no idea those ciders would still be banging away. That is terribly unfortunate. I'm awful sorry about that. My dog, everything. That's just, maybe we'll have another one of these interviews in the future, but I'll continue even with the racket going on outside.
Oh yeah. That's fine.
so I really needed God and couldn't find him. I couldn't understand why I couldn't have a real personal connection with God. You know, I thought my pastor did. I thought all my pastors did. Started wondering, well, you know, I'm not doing drugs. I'm not a criminal. I'm trying not to watch porn and all the tempting things that go on in a man's life. Yeah. I've never been that sexually frustrated as a human being. It's never been my priority. So
Right.
I'm kind of okay in that area. I have some friends that's not the case. Sex has kind of destroyed their life in some aspect.
Yikes.
But anyways, so I've never been that guy. I've never been a bad guy. I didn't understand why I couldn't have a personal relationship with God, right?
Mm.
Especially after all these years. I mean, I've read my Bible back to back so many times. Finally, I decided that at some point around 35, I decided that I was going to become, my faith was dwindling. I coined this phrase, God is an absentee parent. It just rang through my spirit, my mind, always. And I was like, why? How do I get closer to God? Maybe I need to get closer to him on his terms. Right. So what I did was I decided, you know, I need to become a monk to really get close to this God. So just study my Bible intensely. And what I did was I started studying it historically. Mm-hmm. And philosophically is too. Some theological problems started to pop out at me, you know, some logical fallacies like, how do you really explain this? Those kind of questions began to become forefront to me. Right. And at the same time, I started studying the Bible historically in Christian history. First, in an attempt to get closer to God, but the more I studied, the more my faith began to erode until within the process of a couple of years, I was a complete agnostic. I don't know what I am today. I'm called an atheist. Most of my followers most likely are atheists. Mm-hmm. I kind of don't like labels. I just don't know what I am. I'm my philosophy on what life is honestly, man, I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm very comfortable with that.
That's an agnostic position. So
yeah, I'm very comfortable with not knowing why we're here or how we got here. You know, I follow evolution to some degree, but I still have questions and I'm still open-minded to alternative theories like the simulation theory. I really enjoy listening to that we are all part of some sort of computer simulation. On my downtime, I study quantum physics and consciousness. And I've found that no matter who you are, or how learned you are, there's still unknowns. We still don't know what is up. Yeah. So I'm comfortable being in that camp. Probably an agnostic. I don't mind being called an atheist. I don't know of a God, never seen one, never heard of one. So, yeah.
Well, if you don't believe there's one anymore, then you would be considered an atheist, because atheist really is without belief in a God. That's all it is, really.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But if you would call yourself an agnostic atheist,
I would hope for the otherwise. I wouldn't wish for there not to be a God or that there's no meaning to life. That wouldn't be what I would choose, but we don't get to choose, do we?
No. And with or without a God, there's still meaning to life. Meaning is whatever you give yourself.
Well, after the Milky Way has spread out, turned cold, and died, and you look at our little blip on the measure of time, you could reasonably argue that it didn't mean anything.
Well,
I know that for the time being it has meaning to you, but I'm talking about on a grander scale. It would be nice. It would be wishful thinking that there was some sort of meaning or purpose to me being here.
Well, I like to think that I'm in charge of that. I'm in charge of whatever my purpose is, whatever my meaning is.
Yeah.
And, I just make, and I'm not going to be here when that happens anyway. So really it's going to be irrelevant to me at that point.
Yeah. No hope. You don't hope you don't hope there's anything after?
It'd be nice, but I really don't see anything that demonstrates that there is anything after.
I'm the same as you. It would be nice. Yeah.
Yep, sure.
I'm not one of those hardcore people. No, I'm okay with it. It's fine. No, I'm not okay with it. I
It's
would like
weird.
there to be something more.
I find it actually, it took a little while, but after I went fully atheist or whatever,
Mhm.
I stopped fearing death.
Well, yeah, you're not going to be there, are you?
Exactly. Because in my mind, you won't even know. So what's there to be afraid of, really?
Right.
I just don't want it to be painful.
Yeah, the process is all there is that you have to deal with. But
Yeah.
whether you give any credence to near-death experiences, I don't know if you do. Most educated people think it's woo-woo, but one of the fact of the matters is that people, when they reach that threshold of pain that's overbearing, they seem to pop out of their body or something, or go to some wonderful candy land. I mean, whether that's all happening in the brain,
Which is what I think.
regardless, I mean, our brain seems to have this threshold of anxiety, fear, or pain that when it reaches it, we're triggered out of there. Yeah, we're triggered out of there.
I don't know if you're out of your body. I think it's actually all happening in your mind. Your brain just has a way to help you deal with these sorts of things by bringing on these pleasantries to ease you.
Yeah.
More or less.
Which that's good news.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
Apparently my purpose is to feed my friend No Sacred Cows sushi.
Oh, that went over my head. I don't know what that is. Do you have commentators that you can see?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think I have them too. Let me hit. If I hit this, am I going to mess anything up? Live comments?
Nope. You should be able to see them. I believe you should be able to see them.
Okay, yeah. That's where I'm at, Jeff. Okay. Mistress Angelica Missy. I know that person. I've seen that tag before. Hello, Mistress Angelica.
She's been in quite a few of my podcasts.
We have met before, haven't we? Let's see. Going through these comments. I don't recognize any of the other tags.
Someone has a question for you, actually, before we continue.
Okay.
Where was it now? See if I can find it. Oh. Ask him about the experiment he did. Beach price.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So when I was about, I stated the age in the video, although it was, I don't know how accurate it was. I think I was around the ages 7 to 10, somewhere in there, about maybe a year to two span. I really attempted to try to contact God as a child. And one of the ways I did that was I would put little action figures, like little He-Mans and Star Wars action figures, on my windowsill.
Yep.
And then I would mark the exact spot where they stood. And then I would get on my bedside and pray, like that picture, that common prayer pose you see in the movies or whatnot, of a little kid on his knees, head down on the bed like this, my knees on the floor. And I would pray for God to please move one of the little figurines while I'm asleep.
Right.
As a sign, so that I would know that he's with me. That's all I really wanted.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if I can't see you and I can't hear you for some reason, okay, you have your reasons, you're God. Mm-hmm. But at least give me a sign that I'm not alone.
Right.
That you are with me. And so I would wake up in the morning very excited, thinking that the communication was going to happen today, that I was going to get confirmation God could hear my prayers. Never happened.
Well, apparently he doesn't like to be challenged. So
yeah. And then later on, of course, when I had spoken to one of the elders at my church, he said, "Oh, well, you're tempting God. You don't want to do that. That's rebellious,
That's right. Yeah. Rebellious, asking a guy to move a figure a half an inch.
Yeah.
How rebellious do you
needing confirmation that this loving Father is with you.
Well, I mean, if he's not giving you any other signs, it's really not a lot to ask, if you ask me. If I was God and this little guy was going, just move a figure out of the area I drew, I'd be like, no problem, move it. I wouldn't be
Right.
pissed off. I'd be like, what the hell would that be? Point of
Well,
that.
in the funny thing is God is supposed to be in the saving business, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he in the saving business? The Christian God, he's saving us from hell.
Apparently.
Shouldn't he be a little bit better at that? Shouldn't he have some responsibility to let
Well,
us know he's real?
plus, I don't know what the whole. He's God. He can do whatever he wants. He didn't have to send anyone down to be sacrificed. To me, that's just sadistic, really.
Of course. Yeah, there's the logical fallacies, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
One after another. But yeah, so that's my story. And then of course I'm an artist. And so I'm always having to do something in the arts. And so I went from music production to video production and found myself talking about God, and I do a lot of writing. I'm a writer as well. So started writing and then making videos. And then next thing you know, it happened all organically. None of this was really planned, but not on YouTube. Most of your followers would never have heard of me, but on Facebook, a lot of people gravitated towards my page. Follow me.
Yeah. So my friend No Sacred Cows was saying.
Yeah. Yep. So I make it very important that everything I say on Stairway to Reason is thoroughly verified through deep study, and I don't post anything or talk about anything that is controversial or maybe. I mean, I just strike points one after another about my experience of leaving Christianity, what led me to leave Christianity, and I just nail those points one on another, and everything is very accurate. Like, I never go into controversial issues. Everything I publish is backed by some sort of science or deep study on the subject.
Sure.
So it's reliable. So people get reliable information.
Okay. Why did you decide to start doing your YouTube channel?
Well, I mean, like I was saying, it just happened organically. There was no real intent or purpose behind it, to be honest with you. I just,
so you didn't have
as an artist, you're an artist.
Sure.
You've got your headphones on. You do. This is art. What we're doing. Media is art.
Yep.
Headline news, Fox, CNN. It is an artistic platform, and so we're artists. So when you get out of music, what are you going to do? You get into video. I mean, you get into something artistic. And so, so that's why I started Stairway to Reason.
Was it the focus to describe your journey away from Christianity from the get-go?
In an artistic way. Yeah. Like if you see my videos, I have my red glasses on.
Yeah.
That tells you that I'm not a scholar, that I'm an artist.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
I just always thought they were cool. So that's all.
That's right. Yeah, they are. I think they are. But it right there tells you that I'm more from the artistic perspective of life. So, yeah.
You live up in the Pacific Northwest, don't you?
Yep. It's raining right now. Yep.
Yeah, here too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had the same area.
Yeah, we had a huge storm last night, 2 nights ago.
Oh, with the lightning and everything?
I had lightning right on top of my house. Yeah.
Oh, wow, man.
I was counting the seconds that it takes from the lightning bolt to hear the sound, and it was a fraction of a second, like less than a second, which means the lightning was right above me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's scary when that happens. I remember doing that as a kid. You know, my folks would be like, "Oh yeah, just count and you'll know how far it is away, give or take." And I would do that. I'd be like, "What?" And then you could see the lightning and hear it right away.
Casey, Atheist. I do have a Twitter. I've never been on it before. I don't know how to do it. I would love to have an administrator who would run something like that for me.
Well, I tagged you on Twitter before I went live, just so people would know what your Twitter is. So you might end up with a few followers, man. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had somebody who helped me launch my page. I guess you would call him an administrator, who started a Twitter for me, started a Instagram for me, and I've just never left Facebook. I wouldn't know what to do to even get there. I guess download a Twitter app and go
figure it out.
Yeah.
I was the same way for a long time. I spent most of my time on Facebook. And then once I got the hang of Twitter, it's not really that difficult. I mean, every time somebody posts something and you respond to it, it starts a thread off of the original. And then when somebody else responds to that, it starts their own thread. So you just got to follow each thread sort of thing, right? And if you want to follow along on the complete conversation, if you don't care what Buddy had to say, then you could just follow the one that you're doing. You're conversing with that person.
Right.
Other people might pop into that thread to add their 2 cents, which is common.
Okay, that's interesting.
But they'll still be a part of that thread too. So
that's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, it's not a bad. I you know what, dude? I prefer it now.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
It's more like real time conversations rather than what you get on Facebook
with pictures and video as well.
Oh yeah, you can do video, pictures, you name it. Every time I do jam nights or something, I might record a little bit of our song and then pop it up on there and people can check it out, right? So
well, I need to check it out. Yeah, I'm so busy with Facebook that I don't find I can expand much. I mean, Facebook kind of keeps me very busy. I have a hard enough time engaging with my members and making them feel like they have a personal connection to me that I really don't feel like I have time.
Unlike your God, right?
Right. I care about people, and especially the people that want to help me succeed with this page. So, so I have a private members group, on Facebook, and that's where all the members, I think I have about 100 of them now that support me, can enter into a world that's a little closer contact with me. That's where my focus is. I can't focus on the rest of the public because I would be overwhelmed.
Right. So that's why you created that, so that you could focus on the people that were actually interested in interacting with you.
Yeah. Okay. That's right.
So how does one become a member of that group?
Well, you go to Stairway to Reason and you click the support button. And there's also a support button on almost everything I publish, every video, every meme. Just hit the little support button, and I think it's $4.99 a month, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have a goal of 300, which will move me out of this into a real studio once I get there. So I'm 1/3 of the way there right now. So it's taken me about a year. So hopefully in another year, I'll be in a professional studio, and that will allow, I'm sure you can imagine, since you're doing the same thing I do, that allows for better live broadcasting, having special guests, having guest speakers. When you have a professional studio, that changes everything.
It does indeed.
And of course, I got ciders working on the house, and you can hear that racket. So all those that's why I don't go live on Stairway to Reason, is because I have a 18-year-old kid here that gets on the drums sometimes. I have a dog that's barking all the time. I live in an active house, so I need to get out of the house and into a professional studio, and that'll be a game changer for Stairway to Reason.
Definitely, for sure. And eventually I'm going to do the same thing. It'll actually be a studio that I'll be sharing with another guy, because we're going to be starting our own version of a call-in show.
Maybe that guy will be me. Maybe we'll have to share a studio.
Well, I don't know if that'd be a hell of a commute, I think.
I don't know where you're at. You're in Washington, though. Right?
No, Vancouver, BC.
Oh, okay. That would be quite a commute. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. But I have a guy that I'm going to be working with on a new show where it'll be like a call-in show, like something like Talk Heathen or the Atheist Experience.
Yeah.
But it'll be in Canada. I think we're going to be the first one in Canada. So.
Oh, okay. That'd be great. Yeah, I don't have much interest in doing a call-in show, but I don't know. You never know. Years down the road, you just never know what's going to happen.
Exactly. I mean, you might not have to do one that's that style, but if you had, like, you could do a call-in night on one of your shows and like have some of your fans phone in just to talk.
Yeah,
to you, ask you
I'm
questions.
looking forward to doing what you're doing,
Mhm.
only doing it with the guest in the studio with me.
Right.
And that's what that would be my ultimate desire, would be say, hey, Neil, can you come visit the studio, come do an interview, or just do a chat with me in the studio, you know? So
Yeah.
we're sitting in two chairs face to face. I've got monitors, lighting, everything's perfect.
Would be great.
Yeah.
Well,
A little office cubicle somewhere down in Everett or Bellevue.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, realistically, you're only a couple of hours away.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, I could get, I've gotten myself down to that area in less than 2 hours, like in about an hour and a half. But that's during non-traffic times, mind you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a piece of cake, really. I go down there. I used to go down there quite often because I played a card game, and they'd have regionals and they'd have like championship series and stuff. And they'd hold them down in these areas outside of the area, even Tacoma, whatever. And we'd be down there all the time, going down and playing.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of cool because my other YouTube channel revolves around that game. So whenever I go down there, you get a bunch of kids running up and they want you to sign the cards and stuff like that, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But so it's not hard for me to get down there. So if you do want me to jump into the studio one day, fuck yeah, I'll come down.
Hell yeah, like a year from now, probably, if I'm lucky.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm not going to get any younger, but
yeah, me neither. And it's a struggle for artists to make money, especially me. I do video production, so I'm constantly producing videos. Incredible amount of work, and it all just gets posted for free on whatever forum, YouTube, Facebook. And so it's really challenging to make money now as a music producer or a video production. I mean, basically if you're gonna do it, you're fighting for other people to try to get wedding venues and stuff. It's like there's no more money to be made because the technology is so accessible to everybody. Mm-hmm. So in the music industry that I was in, I was doing really well until the 2000s, till a little bit after 2000s, when the technology started getting so good that people were recording themselves at home, basically on laptops. There was no need for studios. So that's when, and it's the same with video now. So people like me, and I imagine, I don't know your life story, but at least for people like me, making a living is very, very challenging as an artist because it takes a lot of work and everything is free.
Yeah, it seems to be that way now, which, I mean, you can still sell whatever your product is. But a lot of people are going to try and get it for free, obviously. Because
the problem is, and it's same with music, you can sell it, and there is a certain amount of money that gets made through selling. But most people, why would they buy it when they can just go to your page and watch it for free?
Right.
Or why would they buy your song when they can just go to YouTube and listen to it for free? That's how most people will function. Then you have other people that actually want a copy of it or something, a label or
I was one of those guys. I always had to have a hard copy. So you had all the production notes, you had all the, all the cool stuff that went with it, right? Because being a musician myself, I always look for that stuff.
So I have a 16 video series. I'm almost done with it. When I started about a year and a half ago, I wasn't that good. I've gotten better at narrating as well. And so I'm remaking it. I'm on about 9 right now, but I have 16 to make. And when I'm done with that, I have a 16 series, which is essentially basically based off of a book that I wrote prior to making videos. And I will be selling that 16 video series. But honestly, I don't expect to make very much off of all that work. The only way I can make any money doing what I'm doing is to have people support my page.
You're right. So, or Patreon or whatever.
You can't sell anything. Yeah. People aren't buying.
That's right. But there's a lot of people out there that would throw a few bucks a month at you just to if you continue, and that's to me it's a reasonable price, really, if you think about it. So
yeah, it's about a Starbucks cup of coffee a month.
exactly.
Not bad.
Well, I drink a lot more coffee
to keep us going, and I'm sure you need support to do what you're doing, or do you have a Patreon and all that?
I do not. I have a PayPal me that I do link if anyone
Okay.
wants to chip in a little bit, because I just bought this new computer. The one I have now is an Alienware. It's
chip in, guys. Chip in.
It cost me $3,500, and but that's with like the best warranty you can get, part replacement, everything, right? So I can have Geek Squad show up at my door and not charge me because it's all covered under the.
Oh, nice. Okay, nice.
I made sure of that when I paid that much for this thing. But I needed it because processing speed is a thing now. You need to have good processing speed if you're going to make anything like live videos or music or anything. I need to have good processing speed, and this is leaps above what I used to have.
I see some of the questions here. He says, does he go to atheist meetings, and would he sing Don't Believe if asked? Somebody has heard of my song before.
It's a good tune, dude. I've heard it.
Okay. So, well, I don't sing that song. I have a friend that sings that song. That's a female singing that song.
That's true.
But I can sing it. I did write it, and before she ever sang it, I was singing it. But it probably wouldn't give you the same feeling that you get when you hear the girl. probably be a little different feeling, but yes, I would. Certainly I would. But I don't go to meetings. I don't get out too often. I'm way out in the woods.
Oh, really? That's awesome. See, I could do that. I'm stuck in I'm like right at the very tip of where the Fraser River splits. So it's a beautiful view, but there's a lot of city around here, and
it's an hour drive for me to get anywhere significant. Like if there was to be an atheist meeting or something, and of course you figure back and forth. That's 2 hours. So
right, it's a little discouraging. I mean, unless it's somewhere very close to you.
Yeah, but I love being in the woods. So it's fine.
Maybe you could throw one time, and then everyone can just come to you.
Yeah.
I do stuff for. I'm involved with and do things for Atheist Republic here in Vancouver. There's one of the consulates is here in Vancouver, and actually Armin Navabi actually lives here in Vancouver. So we throw a lot of things together through Atheist Republic here.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
I see quite a few people know who at least know the song, at least. Interesting. I wonder how much crossover we have. I wonder how many followers of yours actually know who I am.
Quite a few. Quite a few.
I suppose if I put my glasses on, that maybe that would be like they'd be like, oh, I know this guy. There he is.
There you go.
There he is. Yeah.
Now you guys recognize him? I always thought they were the most badass. I've never seen them such bright red lenses before. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I've looked for a duplicate pair and can't find one.
Really?
And I've done it more than once. Yeah, on Amazon, eBay, doing just regular searches. I cannot find another pair. This is it.
What's the brand of that one?
I have no idea. There's no labeling on it.
Oh, so they're just like generics that you buy to like a gas station or something.
Honestly, I don't know where they came from. They showed up in my house one time. My kids had them. My kid was probably maybe 13 or 14 at that time. Maybe he got them from a kid at school. I don't know. They just appeared in my house. I thought they were so cool, and I just snagged them.
Have you ever gone to like a place that makes these kinds of things and ask them if they could reproduce something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really careful not to break this pair, but it would be it'd be comforting to know I could get a duplicate. That would be
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
because as artists, branding is very important to us.
It is, absolutely.
And to have that brand be lost would be tough. So no, I guard these very carefully. People wouldn't know that, but absolutely, they're a big part of my brand.
Yeah, I mean, that's what stands out right away.
Yeah, right.
Your stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the name of your channel, I think, is brilliant too. Stairway to Reason.
Led Zeppelin.
Yep,
Right.
exactly. Yeah. Like
one of the first songs I ever learned on guitar, "Stairway to Heaven."
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's quite a tune to pick as your first one. You always hear people like, oh, you know, Smoke on the Water or something ridiculous like that, like easier to play. But
well, I can't say that I took to it right away, but my babysitter had an acoustic guitar, and gosh, she was a pretty gal too. I remember thinking that for a young kid. Mm-hmm. But anyways, she was kind of good on it, and I remember her playing Stairway to Reason, and it blew my mind, and I asked her to teach me. I was dabbling already with guitar quite a bit, but that was the first song that I took seriously, and it was very difficult, but I remember her working on it with me. Man, maybe I got it sounding somewhat, maybe. Of course, today I can play it with my eyes closed, but I remember being a kid, that was a big deal for me.
Yeah, man. Zeppelin's, I mean, they're like my second all-time favorite band ever. So
they're up there with me. Yeah.
My favorite band of all time is Black Sabbath. But
oh my gosh. Yeah. I think he may be one of my favorite drummers of all time.
Oh, yeah?
The Ozzy era.
Yes.
With Bill Ward, is that his name?
Yep.
Okay. Yes, I got that right. Yeah. Man, that drumming. Yes, I love it.
Well, him,
but good pick for a first.
I mean, of course, shit, now his name just fell out of my head. Bonham. There's a drummer that could do it just by sheer feel and emotion. Whereas you get somebody like Neil Peart, who's a technical drummer. Everything with him is...
Yeah, Bonham is no doubt up there with Peart as far as prestige.
Prestige-wise, sure, but they're two totally different...
totally different. I would rather listen to Bonham any day over Neil Peart. I love listening to Neil, especially Tom Sawyer right near the middle. Mm-hmm. That's about it for me with Neil Peart. But Bonham, I love everything he hits, every note. I don't think that works. Is there every stick hit I love from Bonham?
Drums have notes, more or less.
Yeah.
But tones, I guess we'll call them. But I mean, with Peart, you know what you're getting because it's very, it's
almost like science, right? It's like, it's math.
With Bonham, he's just playing by
spirit.
This feels like it comes next, and that's just how he plays. And I love hearing his work because he's just brilliant on there.
Yes, absolutely. And that in that jazz background he has going into rock and roll.
Speaking of which, the drummer for the Stones, I can't remember names today. Apparently,
Waddle or some, I don't know.
No, Watts. Charlie
Watts. Charlie Watts.
Charlie Watts has a side project that's a jazz project. That I highly recommend checking out. Yeah. Charlie Watts, five-piece. They're a five-piece jazz band, I think. And their first album, when it came, I used to work for a company called Sam the Record Man, and I was in all kinds of music. Right, I don't turn my nose up. Well, there's some that I do. Ultimately, eventually, like I'm not a huge fan of a lot of opera or some of the more. I like rap, but there's some rap that I just can't do. And I'm the
same. Yeah, I'm the same.
With the country music, I much prefer the old school country to the newer stuff.
Same here. Yeah. In fact,
Johnny Cash.
Somewhere in the 90s, a love for country music hit me. But then getting up into the 2000s and later, I started to lose it. I was like, this isn't working.
so fabricated. Like it's
Yeah.
almost like boy band type things, you know? It's just
Yeah, it started to sound too like when I hear steel guitars and pianos and fiddles, I really don't want to have it sound like this modern pop production. I want it to sound like I'm in a smoky bar listening to real musicians play.
yeah, yeah.
And when country music lost that feel, you know, I really thought the Dixie Chicks were going to be the savior for country music, and even they going down the wrong road. When they first hit the scene, the musicianship was incredible. I loved all the guitars and the fiddles and the steel guitars, and it sounded like classic country. And then I don't know, they turned it the wrong way at some point.
I'm gonna have to find them, and I'll send you a link. There's like this bluegrass band that does modern hits by like Nine Inch Nails or Metallica, but they do it with like a jug and a washboard. And
that's really cool. I've always been an Alison Krauss fan. That's the kind of music she does.
Yeah.
And did you ever get to hear what she did with Robert Plant?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there's 2 songs on there. They're in my top 100 right now playlist. 2 of them from that album. Alison Krauss and Robert Plant. Now, the album's garbage, I grant you, except for 2 gems. There's 2 gems in there that are mind-blowingly good.
Well, let the audience know so they can go check it out. Which 2 gems should we be looking for?
Well, I was just thinking, can I think of the name of the titles? I don't know if I can. They're in my top 100 too. I could pull up my iTunes, but go ahead and take us on a different subject and I'll bring it up.
Sure.
Once I find it, I will tell you so that everybody can go listen. And even you might want to listen, unless you say you may have heard the album.
I think I know the tunes that you're talking about. So I just can't, like you, I can't remember the names of them. It was a little while ago that I heard them. So
Singing the Blues is one of them.
Okay.
Or no, let me see. Let me grab my keyboard here. Okay. Let's see. Robert Plant. Okay, I've got it. Here it is. It's Killing the Blues and Polly Come Home.
Okay, I think I've heard the Polly Come Home one because that sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, both those are in my top 100. The album is Raising Sand, Robert Plant and Alison Krauss, and the songs are Killing the Blues and Polly Come Home. Now, they're meditative songs. They're songs that you're not going to rock out to. You grab a cup of hot cocoa or a cup of coffee, relax in a comfortable place, put some headphones on, and it'll trip you out. You'll love it.
Like Pink Floyd.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you don't want to be animated. They're not going to pump you up.
Oh my God, that was an old Saturday Night Live skit, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Going to pump you up. They're supposed to be Schwarzenegger ripoffs or some shit.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Yeah, it was funny. I did have a question for you. When you left your beliefs behind, was there any? Did you have any like lashing out by people that you know that you were close with that stopped talking to you or kind of kicked you to the curb or whatnot?
That's a fantastic question because it's so relevant to a lot of people that are transitioning. Me, no, I don't really have any family. I'm kind of an unfortunate son. So there's been nobody to really scold me. But from the people who do wake up and the people who I communicate with who are waking up, are constantly expressing to me the rip it is causing with their parents or siblings. And apparently what you're asking can be devastating for some people to where they will lose family members, lose jobs, these sort of things. Major things can happen. So it may not be that great of an idea to tell your parents who are very religious that you no longer believe. I just don't know. I don't know if it's any good to do that, to come out of the closet. I mean, chances are if your parents are in their 60s or 70s, you're not going to change their mind. You don't need to. Why would you want to?
No.
So it might be just best to just let that go. And if a lot of times when you wake up to reality and you leave religion, you kind of want to shout from the rooftops, right? You want to share your experience. Well, maybe not do that at the dinner table with your folks. I don't know.
I always I've spoken to a few folks that telling me their stories and whatnot. They couldn't reveal their faces, some of them, because they're still in areas where it could cause problems. Like you said, they could lose their job and lose their families as well. So I always tell people like that, if that's what's going to happen, don't come out of the closet, because you got to consider, you should only consider doing that if you're going to be able to land on your feet. If your entire support system is going to be yanked out from under you when you come out and say, oh, by the way, I don't believe in a God anymore, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Stay in the closet, and don't relate that to like the whole gay issue. Like if you're gay, I can understand wanting and needing to come out of the closet. That makes sense to me. But just lacking a belief in God, I mean, there's no sense in destroying your mom and dad who raised you Christian, and you're not going to change their mind. All you're going to do is break their hearts.
Yeah.
There's no real reason. There's no good reason to do that. So,
especially if they're on an age too.
Yeah. Now, if you're wanting to marry somebody like of the same sex, well, then I would understand that need. You've got to come out of the closet and tell your parents. So I would equate that as two different scenarios.
And they very much are.
Yeah. I mean, but no, I've never had an issue with it. I have one cousin that I was close to on Facebook. And mind you, this is just a cousin. I haven't really seen or been in his life for 20 years. But when I started posting my anti-Christian rhetoric online, he suddenly seemed to have vanished. That's about the only loss I've experienced.
That's a little bit more mild, I guess. I mean, if you guys weren't in communication all that much anyway.
Not that close. Just on Facebook, we would comment here and there, and just a little bit, and maybe one other person, an old high school friend. On Facebook, you get reacquainted with old friends from high school, and a few of my friends took off. They left. They left my not my page, my profile page. They defriended me. Is that how you say it?
Unfriended, I think is
unfriended me. So a few, but nothing that impacted my life to any degree.
That's good. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's always easier when you have a situation like that. For some people, it's not so easy. I spoke with. Are you familiar with the people that are on the Atheist Experience that have been hosts on that show?
I'm Matt Dillahunty, who I really hold in high respect, and is probably has some degree of responsibility for me waking up. I would say Bart Ehrman carries most of that, but Matt Dillahunty has definitely been an inspiration on me.
He's a really, really, really cool guy too. I've actually hung out at his house and met him and stuff.
I would love to get to do that.
Well, come down to Faithless Forum next year. In Texas, man, it was the best week I ever spent on vacation.
If I get more popular, you'll probably find me showing up in more places.
You have like 1,200, or no, I'd say 2,000 more followers than I do, for crying out loud, or subs anyways on your YouTube channel. You're
okay. Yeah.
Pretty good, man. I mean, the only reason people really know me is because I went down there and I made myself known. I'm a pretty fucking hard guy to miss when you meet me. I'm 6'4" and loud and obnoxious. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, you look cool. You'd be one of the types I would gravitate toward.
Well, thanks. That's cool. Thanks. And I was going to say also, I forgot what it was that I was going to say. Oh, see this aging shit, man. When the memory starts going, when you had something in your mind and then it just kind of steps back, and you're
It's
like,
okay
"Hey,
though. That's the cool thing about these streams is people get to see the real people behind,
oh
the
yeah,
page or whatever. So I like the opportunity because a lot of, most people that follow me really don't get to know me until they see me in a real environment like this where we do make blunders, where we do forget stuff, you
sure."
know. So it's good for people to be able to experience
Reminds
this.
everyone that
So
we're all
if you forget, yeah, if you forget what you're going to say, they're like, oh, okay, these guys are human.
Inquisitive Quandary wants to know if your Patreon is active.
Yes, it absolutely is. And the neat thing about Patreon is you can put in the amount you want to pledge. So you can put in as little as $1.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you what, when 300 people do that, that's $300. That pays my electrical bill.
There you go. Yeah, IQ, if you can find that, please post it in the.
Yeah, I'm on Patreon. It's at Stairway to Reason.
And I have links to your stuff in the description below. Well, your channel, your Facebook. I actually I don't know if I put your Facebook in there. I can
Okay.
edit that in afterwards, so I'll get that. Just
Yeah.
pass me a link through the chat, and I'll
Mhm.
and I'll add that to this too, because I want people to be able to find you on every platform you're at. And you really got to think about getting that Twitter going, man.
Yeah. I need to update or modernize, not update. I need to modernize.
Get with the times, man.
Yeah, get with the times. I need help though. I need, and the thing is that it's all volunteer work, so it's kind of hard to get people to get too excited. But
I'm
I do have one administrator on my page. Um,
A Discord is another one you could probably take advantage of.
hmm. Well, I do Discord for my video gaming. I never thought about it for Stairway to Reason.
You could start your own Stairway to Reason Discord server.
Oh.
Actually Inquisitive Quandary is kind of like my, I don't know, self-appointed helper. he's
Oh.
starting up a Discord for me.
Well, thank you, man. I wonder if he knows how incredibly helpful that is. I have one as well. Yeah, I have Judy Batchelor, who's actually, a lot of people actually know who she is from working with me. But she's been my administrator and deals with she deals with all the riffraff. I don't have to.
That's good. That's what you need, is someone like that can be the front lines for you when you're dealing with that kind of crap.
Yeah, but if anybody wants to admin a Twitter or an Instagram or something for me,
I'll do some work for you, Jeff. I know
I'd
people
love it. I would love it. Yeah.
right, and they can relay shit to you. And I know some people that might do that. One of them is taking a break from Twitter at the moment, but she's phenomenal. She does stuff for people like Thomas Westbrook, and who's really cool. Mr. Atheist. She, even the Atheist Experience, when they're on YouTube, she's one of the moderators in there. So she's just one of those people that likes to volunteer to do that kind of thing. So.
Oh, wow. My administrator is going to be getting paid when I meet a threshold. When the income that I make through Stairway to Reason equals the bills that I have in my life, when that reaches equilibrium, my administrator is going to get 10%.
There you go.
So, yeah, so she will be getting paid, hopefully at some time in the future, if I don't fall off a bridge or Facebook closes me down.
I mean, it's always good to have people help you, because there's no way in hell I could have come up with my own branding.
Right. And the neat thing about people that do have the time and they like doing it, if they jump in early with somebody like you or I, once that momentum gets successful, then they're going to be the first ones to receive a paycheck when the money starts getting handed out. So even though you start off voluntary for somebody, at some point, if it continues to be successful, you get brought into the fold of get payback.
Yeah, for sure. And
If it becomes successful, I mean, it's all a gamble, right? But
it is. You know what? It's networking, man. If you network with the right people, your name eventually is going to get spread around.
yeah. I always envisioned some rich millionaire somewhere. I changed his life. He saw my videos. He's just ecstatic, and now he wants to put me in a studio. You have these ideas like this.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if that
So,
happened.
so far, no rich millionaire has discovered me.
Well, at least not to that extent, right?
Yeah.
Mark, I hope your leg feels better. Mark's taking off. He's got to go elevate his leg. It's swelling. So
Thank you for hanging out, guys. I'm trying to pay a little bit more attention to your comments. I don't know how long you're going to have me on.
We usually go for an hour.
Okay, I'll try to be a little bit more
But
tender to these.
I also do what I call an after party. So when we hang up on here, I start up a new stream, which you're under no obligation to join. But if you want to come in and chat with a few of your fans for a little bit, you're welcome to do that. And I would send you a new link and you jump into a new stream and we go for a little longer, if that's okay with you.
I think I can do that.
That would be awesome.
In fact, it's 4:59, so we're probably getting right up to the ending point here.
Yeah. Well, we can do that anyways. Why don't we just do that now? Let's just end this and we'll get into an after party. And I've already promised one of my buddies who really wanted to say hi to you that he could come in and do that.
Okay.
And
excellent.
Of course, Inquisitive Quandary will come in and we can talk a little bit about how the administrator moderator thing works with him, because he's very knowledgeable in that sort of thing. So,
okay.
Anyways, thanks everyone for tuning in and hanging out with Stairway to Reason and myself. Or his name's Jeff, and he's not afraid that you know that. So I'm not doxing anybody. So they say, because there has been issues with that before. But yeah. But guys, if you are interested in hanging out for a little bit longer, I can send you a link if you'd like to join us. Yes, I can. I know you want in. You've been bothering me for like 3.5 weeks about wanting in, sir.
Excellent. Look forward to it.
All right, man. Yeah, Jeff, man, thanks for doing this with me, man. I know the story wasn't the longest, but we were able to talk about some other really cool shit too.
Yeah, it started off a little bit noisy, but
that's okay.
I think the weather's calmed down. So, but yes, okay.
All right, so I'm going to jump into an after party. Give me about somewhere between 8 and 10 minutes, because I'm going to go and take a leak, grab another beer, have a quick smoke, and then I'll get back and I'll send you a fresh link.
Okay.
All right. So everyone, thanks for watching again. And if you like what I do and you want to help support myself and Jeff here, IQ has posted a link to Jeff's Patreon in the chat. And I will actually take a copy of that link and put it in the description below if you want to look there as well. And I will soon have a link to his Facebook group as well, which you are also able to join. I think you said it was $5 a month or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. There will be multiple ways to help support us. And thank you if you do that. And until next time, guys, like I always say at the end of these things, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.